Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel here. It's the Mac. Welcome back to a showcase of campaign series Vietnam. The latest release from Matrix Games and Slitherine software there. So I did a little poll there on my channel, and this game got the overwhelming votes to be showcased as the next game on the channel here, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. So, campaign series. Well, I have actually done quite an extensive video review of the campaign series through the ages on the channel. I made of the old campaign series there from Matrix Games the bundle you can buy with West Front, East Front, and Rising Sun. The original titles there from going way back to Talon Soft days there with John Tiller, who was one of the founders of those games and programmers, and to this most recent campaign series Vietnam there. They have the campaign series Middle East as well. I have done kind of a short review of that. I'm thinking of actually going back to that game a bit more. So, this is kind of spanking new here. It's been released, it's been out a couple of days now. And this has been a long-awaited title. Many people have been waiting many years for this to actually be released. It was actually meant to be released before the campaign series Middle East, but this game got on hold for various reasons. And now they finally have a product they have released. So this game, though, is what I've read in the documentations, is actually, well, it's finished. I mean, the core game is done, but there's lots of things they're planning to add to this title in the future. For instance, there's right now the 1.0 version. You can only play scenarios. There's no campaigns or the link to the dynamic campaigns. None of that is actually included in this first release. It says it will be released further on, and they will add as patches and expansions to this game, I think. I have played it now a bit. I did a couple of to dive into it and played the boot camp missions and stuff. Had a blast. Really fun game, this. Wow, we're going to go through and have a look at what actually counts with the game here. So there's actually a shitload of scenarios that counts with this game. There's a lot of scenarios, which is great because it will keep you occupied until they will release more stuff for it. So when you start the game up, actually, you get like a Matrix Games, like a launch window, and when you click to play the game there, they actually starts off with a video that paid tribute to the late John Tiller there, and it's sort of there's a video about the whole history of what this game actually takes up. It's sort of documentary filming of from the first early war there in the late 40s, the French Indochina War, all the way up to the American intervention in Vietnam there. So if you look at the web page here, as many of you guys probably have, there are it says this kind of very well explains what actually comes with the game here. We're back to the 250 meter cross hexes. But there's lots of new cool stuff added to this game, actually. As you can see here, they have there's lots of new kinds of units, and they have special abilities. You have helicopters, you have tunnel rats, you have civilians. There's lots of things. It's sort of, if you go back to the old campaign series, the East Front, the West Front, and the Rising Sun, they are way more basic in gameplay. Still great games, but they try to dive deeper into these games and make them more alive. I got the feel of, there's lots of variables to keep in mind and things that are not in the old titles, but here they're very much present. They also have a new event engine. This is kind of new as well, the event. So, depending on what you do in your mission and how you complete tasks and follow your orders, you are awarded like event points that says here that allows players to collect victory points based on completing tasks, as opposed to just securing objectives and inflicting casualties. This is very much the old titles. Just basically destroy as much of the enemy, hold the objectives, and you win, basically. Here's a lot more to keep in track. You will see that as we go into... we're going to do a let's play of a scenario, and hopefully I can find something that actually depicts most of the new cool stuff that comes in this game here. So, the conflicts are the French Indochina War, the South Vietnam Civil War as well, and they have the U.S. involvement in South Vietnam 65, 67. It's only 2 years there, but all that is explained actually in the manual. We're gonna have a look at the manual as well. The manual, by the way, in this game is great. I mean, they really made a great manual for this game now. It's easy to navigate, really is comprehensive, takes up everything you need to know. It's brilliant. You will see later on when I fire up some scenarios that I actually didn't know. This is a good tip for you guys who just bought this game and are struggling and maybe don't know that actually all the boot camps are in the main manual of the game here. I didn't know that in the start. I was sort of, being a veteran gamer of the campaign series, I sort of knew what I was doing, and there is actually like a tutorial in the game, but as I played it through, I thought, I couldn't really follow along. It was like, it felt kind of buggy because I didn't maybe do exactly as the tutorial said, and it sort of flipped out. But if you follow these written tutorials as to play these boot camps, you will... it's much easier. So I actually played through them one more time because I performed terribly in them. And I followed these boot camps here. They're really good, well written here. I can understand why it must have been hard to actually do a tutorial for this game, because it's so actually quite complex now compared to the old campaign series, that since they have the variable AI adaptation as well, the AI doesn't always do the same thing. I really like that. They really made some great improvements on the AI, which is a blast in these games. Of course, strength is always to play versus a human opponent. I mean, that is always the ultimate test for any strategy game, I guess. I mean, most AI are limited, but you get the most out of playing versus another opponent, always. But I find the AI in this game pretty tough, man. I was struggling here, so it's going to be fun to do a battle here, actually, and see how well the AI performs in something larger than the boot camps. Actually, some of these boot camps are quite big. There was one that was over 30 turns long. That's quite long for like a tutorial mission. But as you will see that sort of there's lots to do in this every turn. It's not just like the basic campaign series. You move your units and fire and then just end your turn. I mean, there's lots of planning that goes into this. It's kind of complex. There's lots of logistical things you need to think about. You know, fly back at choppers, refuel them, have like support trucks there. You gotta man your defenses, be prepared for ambushes. I mean, anything can happen. It's just like the real war, I guess. I mean, the hazards of the Vietnam War there. So they really, really well captured that feeling of that anything can happen, or that ambush can just be around the corner. So that's really cool. Some other really nice tips. This hints and tips is really good as well. They're written here. Some really good tips basically for actually doing well and understanding this new concept of the game here. So these are really good read here. Some really good tips there. And then they have, this is also good because there's many questions that arise when you see a title like this. You wonder why the time span, why this released now. Maybe they should have made it larger, like make it bigger or something, or have a larger scope or something. But this is really good. I mean, I think they're going to be. I think they're going to keep this system here, and there'll probably be more releases in the future of other conflicts, because this is a great system, and it's very easy to be immersed into it. And as it's kind of basic as well, but complex. I really like the concept of these games. So they have a new user interface. There's a new zoom levels. You will see there's quite a few zoom levels now. You could play this game 2D, a lot slicker than the previous titles. And they have this series event engine. I really like this. This actually adds a lot of flavor to the game there. That like it says here, all of the scenarios, including with Vietnam, have a large component of AI using a campaign series event engine, where one side or the other is fully scripted, providing an exciting opportunity to play against. Yeah, they have the enhanced fog of war. It's kind of really scary now. You have no idea what the hell you're up against. The graphics have been improved as well. There's a really extensive OOB. There's like loads of units. Lethality, as the decades progressed, so did the efficiency at killing. Yeah, a number of new weapon systems were introduced to assist in fighting. Anti-tank weapons, recoilless rifles, anti-tank missiles, artillery, tanks, and other armored. So the lethality in combat is much greater as well. You got airstrikes, SAMs, recon reveal. Okay, this is kind of cool. I don't think I've tried that out. Gonna have to try that. This allows the recon unit flagged infantry, vehicles, or helicopters the ability to perform an in-turn reconnaissance. Okay, adaptive AI. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they have civilians now. You got to keep track of. If you get fired from a village, you think like, okay, let's drop some napalm there, but you might kill like a couple of hundred civilians in the process, and that you're going to get penalized for that. So there's lots of things to keep in mind here. Yeah, so why Vietnam? Vietnam was actually started before Middle East, yes, I said before, but was put aside due to inherent complexities found in the Vietnam War that the campaign series engine could not cope with at the time. After Middle East was released, work was resumed on the overhaul of the engine to take into account these vast complexities of the conflict in Vietnam, especially one without defined frontiers. Yeah, where are the campaigns? So it says they will be released. Yes, initially released without any traditional link campaigns, although they will be coming in the future there. And it says there, in lieu of those, we have included 2 large and long scenarios. These are a week in series scenarios that has you completing missions over a course of 7 days or 420 turns. Wow. Each day has a new mission that needs to be completed to be on the path to victory. It's similar to a link campaign, but confines to one scenario. There are 2 of these scenarios included within the initial release. So a week in the Bin Long and a week in Mekong. That's pretty cool. I'm going to have to check those out. Yeah. And here, why is the campaign series Vietnam only covering 48 to 67? So it says initially covers the Vietnam conflict with the French involvement to the Vietnamese Civil War to the early American involvement through 67. With over 100 scenarios included with the first release. Yes, over 100. There's ample material to keep one activity playing for hundreds and hundreds of hours. Yeah. And there's planned download content available in the future. We'll be covering the Vietnam war final years, the end of the road, the Laotian Civil War, the Cambodian-Vietnamese War, the Sino-Vietnamese, the Korean War. Man, some pretty cool stuff coming up there. So it doesn't include the linked campaign games. They will be made available in the future. Yeah, I really like those linked campaigns. I think they're really fun to play. Yeah, so there's... you can see there's a lot going on here in this game. There's going to be lots of releases for that. Really cool stuff. Looking forward to that. Right. So yeah. So what the game looks like when you fire it up there, there's actually enough. There's material to actually make scenarios and edit scenarios as well. So you can start making scenarios for this game if you're into that. So let's have a look at the scenarios there. So you can see there's a lot here. So in the start there is actually the 4 boot camps, and I've actually played these on off camera there. Um, they were really good to play through because you basically have to play through these to understand this new concept they're thinking of here in the campaign series Vietnam, because there's lots of new stuff that you need to keep track of, and as you will see, they have a whole new briefing screens. The missions are divided up into different phases. You really need to read the scenario descriptions to understand what the hell you're supposed to be doing, and that I like, because you need to be immersed into what the mission is and what you're supposed to be doing. So it's definitely not for those casual gamers who just want to fire up and destroy things. I mean, you really need to get in there and understand what's going on. So they have to learn the ropes there, the first one. Sort of just getting a user interface and in-game messages, movement, double timing, variable objectives, firing and assaulting, all the basics there. And then they have this cool thing called building a fire base. I mean, that is just, they have new units now. You could, before you could just improve your position. Now you can improve it. You have specialized units like construction teams that can go in and make them like badass fortification areas. That's really cool. They also take up some artillery and airstrikes. And of course, choppers was a huge thing in the Vietnam War. I mean, the Americans used a lot of choppers in that war, and a lot of them got shot down too. That's some crazy statistics, how many choppers were actually shot down in that war. But the first of the air cavalry and all that, they flew in and they landed troops, and it's like mobile infantry. So I mean, all kind of new warfare there in Vietnam was used to its full potential there. So they have that about flying in forces, setting up bases and attacking, refueling. They have the tunneling thing. That's really cool. The tunnel rats, those guys that went down into those Vietnamese tunnels, man. That must be the worst. The worst thing to do, to go down into those small tunnels just with a pistol and a flashlight, and oh man, in that darkness, in the booby traps, and oh man, that must have been so scary to do that. Hearts and Minds, yep. There you have the. This one is all about rescuing civilians and getting them the heck out of a hot area while being chased by the Viet Cong there. It's a really cool scenario as well. You get them to use special units to go in and get the civilians out. It was fun to play. Really hard one, this though. I think I failed it. It's tough. It's a tough mission there. And after those boot camps, it just goes on here. Now it starts early. I mean, I like it that they put them in chronological order. That is great. I think so they're all from chronological order as the war progressed. So it starts off way back in 48 there. So this one is all about the French parachutes coming in there, doing an attack on a village. It's pretty cool. Really, I actually started that one. It looked really cool. And it just goes on, man. Here they have some linked scenarios that you probably should play in order to get the best out of them. See if we can find those huge scenarios. It'll be fun to see what they're like. It goes on. I mean, we're 53 here now. They have the Dien Bien Phu. If you guys recall, I made a Let's Play of Squad Battles. That's the John Tiller title. It's named after the Dien Bien Phu, that big showdown at the end, that big fire base that got attacked. But that deals with this, of course. That the Bien Phu squad battle title deals with the French involvement in Vietnam there. So there's quite a lot. Look at all these scenarios covering that, man. I think there's something like 10 scenarios covering the Dien Bien Phu. That is a lot of playing. That'll take you some time to get through all that. Battle of Saigon, Fortress Assassins, Phantom Heist. It's really cool. It just goes on here. It's 1960s now. Goes all the way to when the military advisors came in there, and when the Americans started landing troops. Ken Long, Bin Gia. Yes, I'm kind of rusty at the Vietnam. I think I've said that before, but I'm starting to read up on it and do my research, and it's very interesting conflict there. Lots of interesting battles going on there. Let's see if I can find that scenario. Maybe I already scrolled past it. There's so many here. Hill 50 there. There's so much here. Some of these, 30 turns. That's quite long to play through. 15. Many are playable though. 15. Here it is. Oh man, look at this. A week in the Mekong Delta there. 1st of April 1967. There 420 turns. Complexity 10. First side is side A. Jason Petho has made this. Man, this is pretty cool. Like a whole week, you get to fight that. I like it. I like the idea there. This scenario will have you commanding the brigade for 1 week as it starts its operation around Dong Tam. Wow, that's pretty cool. There was another one that was quite big as well. This one's pretty, 75 turns. That's quite into the mountains. I guess that's the last one there. Cool stuff. Actually, something happened here. Did it freeze or something? I think it froze. Oh. Is it back? Oh. I think I might have to restart it. I'm just going to pause it here. I'll get right back here. All right, we're back. Yeah, we're back. I don't know what happened there. It looks like it froze or something. I found the other one here. A week in Bin Long. So there's another one. That 420 turn one. Pretty badass there. All right. Yes, I'm just going to fire something up, and you guys can see. And we're going to do I'm going to choose a scenario here. You can see how the hell was it organized? Was it complexity? Here's the boot camps. Let's just fire up one of these boot camps here. Whoops. Burning the ropes. Yeah, let's fire this one up here. You guys can have a see here. Computer. Yeah, let's just do what it says. Yeah, you have optional rules as well. I think many of them actually are recommended to have on, but you can have a look in the manual. If there's something you don't like, you could just turn it off. There, they have the enhanced fog of war on like that. So if you fire up this tutorial here, the first one, you will see that you get this now, which is kind of new. Welcome to Boot Camp, Campaign Series Vietnam. So you have a situation, you have a mission, execution, and political. Admin, command, and control. So, I mean, it's very detailed, the description of what you're supposed to be doing. So I'm not going to actually do anything in this. I'm just going to show what it actually looks like there. So, Side A command report, one headquarters, unable to provide supply. Yeah. So this is the game looks like. This is the zoomed in 3D. You have the background, the noise there, the guns and firing. There's no music in the game, but they have that sporadic firing and stuff. So you can see it looks actually a lot like campaign series Middle East, except that it's different. I mean, this is different. This whole menu system is completely different. So you have the 3D there. You have the 3D zoomed out, even more zoomed out, the extreme zoom out, and there you have zoomed out 2D, and further 2D, even more, and this is kind of cool. This feels a lot like playing the Wargame Design Studio games with the counters. And the 2D graphics. This is really nice. Looks like a good old board game going here, and slick graphics. I like it. Some kind of basic, but it's all you need to move your forces around and play the game, basically. And as you can see, the maps are pretty big. Look at the size of this for being a boot camp mission. Huge. Okay, you will only be moving around here, this area here, but I mean the detail is really cool. The maps are amazing in this game. So there's new stuff. As you can see, they have sort of this. I really like this. You can have all the icons on. So you have all the different icons. This kind of looks daunting for people who haven't played these games. They're like, what the hell? Do I have to memorize all these? No, because if you have them all visible, I mean, there's only a couple of you that you actually are using. Many of them are, you might never use. So they have this common. These are the most common icons that you actually use in the game. You're skipping units, you're saving the game, you're ending your turn, you're committing assaults, you're clicking if you want to fire, double time. You have add units to your assaults. You have smoke missions, flares. This is new as well. Fanatical defend, weak defend. So there's lots of new stuff in this game that you're going to have to read up in the manual there. I'm going to have to read up before I do the Let's Play so I know what I'm doing. You have opportunity fire. Artillery. We don't have any artillery in this mission, but that's the artillery. That's airstrikes. No, that's airstrikes, sorry. And this is close air support. This is for choppers going up and down. This is for saving APs for moving. You have the organization tab there. Arrived units. Quick buttons to go to the manual and the handbook. And these are all the combat icons. You have air icons, engineers, highlights. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe highlight units on the map there. You have map icons just for units and information. So that's pretty cool. Different modifiers on the map. All that's accessible through here. So what do the units look like here? Same way to play this campaign series as many of the others. You just sort of click the units. And the old F2 is your unit handbook. So this is a Infantry 67A platoon here. It tells you they are armed with M16s, M60, M79s, grenade laws, claymores. And these guys are airborne. Their organization, this is like a short description telling you how many men it is, how they move. So all the parameters. This is their attack power at certain ranges. Movement cost for all the different kinds of terrains they're going to be moving through. The capabilities. this is cool that you can set up. You can set up like booby traps and stuff, and I think that's really really cool as well. So there's lots of stuff, and now you basically know what the game looks like inside here. And we're going to be doing a let's play. I'm going to pick a scenario and actually duke it out, and I'm going to be going more in depth in that scenario, looking at different things that I could do with units and stuff. So here you have civilians, for instance. Got to keep that in mind here. In this particular mission, I think you're just moving like a whole platoon of soldiers to retake an airfield. It's actually a company, because one of these is actually a platoon, so it must be a company of soldiers there. And here are some fixed units. They are from CIDG platoons. So pretty cool. There's lots of units in this game. This is kind of a basic mission just to learn the ropes. Gonna move in here and take this airfield here, and even move on. See, there's another airfield down here you need to capture as well. So there's gonna be reinforcements and stuff coming. So really nice game here. So I'm going to end the video here, man. This first part, just sort of an introduction to the campaign series Vietnam, and then we're going to be doing a scenario, and we're going to be going more into maybe the details of actually to do in the battles and stuff. So I want to thank you for watching there, man, and leave comments and stuff, like and subscribe, and we're going to go do a little. I'm going to try and choose a scenario here, and we're going to duke it out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.